Hello.
Hello and welcome to this final boss fight live stream. My name is John and you join me halfway through an Injustice 2 match where I'm somewhere between beating and being beaten by, it looks like probably being beaten by Aquaman.
Yeah, possibly I'd say more beaten than beating.
Ow! Well, he killed me.
Well,
That decisively finishes that off then.
yeah, pretty much.
My name is John and I am joined once more by Scar of Geek Worlds.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we are going to talk about comic books and movies and
TV shows.
and TV shows and trailers.
Yes.
Because we have all of those things to discuss. But first of all, I need to try and do some very quick on-the-fly CSS editing of this so that I can read the chat.
That should be good. So, this is part 2 of...
Hello Brian and hello Sean in the...
Brian, hello Sean.
In the stream. This is part 2 of our discussion in reference to comic books.
Last time we redid the entire DC Cinematic Universe.
We started off small. We just remade the entirety of the films that they should have made.
I still have it, by the way.
We maybe should add to that at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
This time, the main focus of our discussion, our agenda, as you will, is going to be to discuss Captain Marvel. Marvel's Captain Marvel, not DC's Captain Marvel that technically comes out today at time of streaming in the UK.
It will get confusing.
Who'd have thought that after all these years there'd be 2 Captain Marvel movies in the same year?
Yeah.
I just did that.
What?
Special move it's asking me to perform.
Ah. As usual, we're playing some comic-related games while talking about that.
The battle of who did it better.
Well, I'm definitely winning this one. Captain Marvel and...
We're also going to get to, I think, let's discuss what we're going to talk about first, and then we'll go over everything, and then we'll come back to the specific topics.
Right.
So
in the things that have come up this week, there's the Joker trailer.
There's the Joker trailer.
Well, it's not this week, but there's the, Captain Marvel movie.
Yep.
I think there was a new Avengers Endgame trailer.
There's been some new footage for that, and midnight screening tickets have gone on sale, and I am very tempted to take a day off of work to go and see it at midnight, because it's going to be out at like 3 in the morning. But also,
American time?
No, it's like a midnight showing. It's like the cinema here is doing a double bill of Avengers Endgame followed by Avengers Infinity Wars followed by Endgame. And so you get to the cinema for 8:30 and you get out at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
And then I just don't feel like I'll be up for work the following day.
I don't see you taking a day off work saying that you're going to see Endgame.
Oh, I just booked the day off work as holiday. I don't care. I've got to be careful though, because I've only got so many holidays, and I need some of them for MCNs.
You need some for Comic-Con.
Damn it, Swamp Thing.
That's about it in terms of big thing
Those are the
this
big
week.
keynote things, I think. Yeah. So, should we start with Captain Marvel? Ow.
Sure.
In the face by Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing wins.
So Captain Marvel came out, and it was the last big Marvel movie before we get back to
Infinity War.
the Infinity War low note that they ended that one on, and
Yeah.
we find out what happens next. And this was a prequel movie, I think it's fairly safe to say.
Well, it's an origin one.
It's an origin story for Captain Marvel. It's a prequel movie because it takes place in the 90s. And so...
And way before where the story is right now.
Yeah. And so, chronologically speaking, this is the second oldest Marvel movie.
If I remember
Because
the thing... Yeah, that's the second.
There's Captain America obviously takes place in World War II. And then this one takes place in the 90s.
And then after that, it's...
And then it's like early 2000s with Iron Man and all that stuff.
Yep.
I might just have the computer play a few rounds of this. Be more interesting. Might actually win a few games. What did you think of the film? I'm assuming... I know that we've talked about this a bit. I'm assuming by this point you've seen it.
I've seen it today, actually.
Oh, you left it last minute then?
Mainly because I am very poor, and that when I go to the movies, I need to choose the movie I'm going to see, basically.
Fair.
And also because I didn't want to go. Last time I was available was Wednesday, and Wednesday in France is the day where in the afternoon the kids are out and all in the fucking cinemas. I didn't want to watch the movie with teenagers behind me.
Right.
And all that. But apart from that, I find it okay.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not the hugest Marvel fan. I don't know much about Captain Marvel as a comic book either. So it's difficult for me to know if they did a great job at rendering the comic book in the movie or not. But in terms of movie we like and superhero yeah, it was pretty fun, pretty good.
I enjoyed it. It was, in terms of comics to screen, the biggest change... Sean's saying that she just sees her brain just renders Swamp Thing, who is currently beating up Donatello from the Turtles.
Yeah, that's already something to register, I think.
As off-brand Groot, so...
Yeah, you were saying.
The biggest changes that I know of from the comics to the film, I don't know how much the Kree kidnapping sort of plot line is actually in the comics. The poop.
The old poop.
The old.
Don't remember that in the movie.
What was I saying? The Marvel, who is the in the films the female scientist who generates the engine using Tesseract power.
Yeah.
In the comics, she is a he.
Okay.
But is still a Kree who comes to Earth and falls in love with Earth, and so sort of stops doing the Kree thing and just like uses his Kree powers to defend the Earth, and then does gift his powers to Carol Danvers.
Okay.
And then in the comic books, originally she takes on the persona of Ms. Marvel, while he is the superhero Captain Marvel. She takes on the role of Ms. Marvel for a while, until he dies of cancer, at which point she takes on the role of Captain Marvel. And she's still Captain Marvel to this day. God damn you, Poison Ivy, die! The other big change for the film, and it's an interesting one, is that the Skrulls in the comics are evil.
Okay.
And there are occasionally good Skrull. But for the most part, the Skrull as a race are villains. And so they do the thing of, oh boy, that's gonna kill me, yes. Sean says, that's a cool looking Poison Ivy that's kicking me in the face repeatedly.
Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Not the best looking one, though, to my mind, but we're diverging again.
So yeah, the Skrull is a they are a shape-shifting alien race, and they do look very much like they were portrayed on the screen. So they have the green, weird chin things, ridged chins.
Yeah.
But they are typically the villains of the piece. They started out as, Jesus Christ, stop punching me in the face. Now you've punched me into space. They started out as Fantastic Four villains. And basically, I mean, in terms of weird comic book origins times from old school comics, because you know, comic books have got some weird stuff in them.
Yes, obviously, playing against one.
God damn it. So 4 Skrulls come to Earth and they infiltrate the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And use their shape-shifting abilities to take on the role of the Fantastic Four. Until the Fantastic Four come back from outer space and realise that someone has taken over their lives on Earth. Whereupon they take back their lives and rather than killing the alien invaders, they use mind-altering powers to force the shape-shifting aliens to transform into cows.
Alright. That's an interesting plan.
It's an interesting option.
Not the first that would have come to mind to me, but...
What can I say? They were having a weird day.
I guess I'm not the Fantastic Four, so, you know.
These cows then were sent to a farm, and then they were slaughtered.
So at the end, they were still killed.
In the end, they were still killed. They were then turned into burgers and other various meat goods.
That sounds like the worst idea.
And then they were fed to... they were fed to people because nobody knew that they were alien shapeshifters. They appeared to just be cows. And the people that were fed Skrull Burger gained shapeshifting superpowers.
Okay.
And became the Skrull Kill Crew. And basically went on a massive alien shapeshifting killing mission of vengeance to try and stop the alien shapeshifters who are taking over the planet. So that's a weird comic book super team origin story.
Thank God they didn't do that in the movie. That would be very weird.
The other plot point that they will possibly bring back in future movies is that her friend, the other pilot, is the second Captain Marvel. I think possibly third. She's another Captain Marvel. And basically went on to get... Yeah, the 1960s. Thank you, Brian.
You're clinically proven to be pure evil.
Yeah, basically that.
Basically, that's where weird comic book stuff came from.
The facts just aren't on
she goes on to become the superhero Spectrum, who is basically a living human made of light.
Okay.
So maybe we'll see that come up as a plot point in future Marvel movies.
I love how weird comic books can get sometimes.
I mean, I gotta say, there were a lot of very cool references and nods in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple that they did maybe one time too many. Like, I know there's been some people that point out that they do the joke that's in the trailer. They do the joke of her dropping into the Blockbuster. And it obviously being like the, oh yeah, they're gone now. Like, reference of, oh yeah, do you remember these things? We used to have Blockbusters. And then they almost immediately after that, in the film, do a Radio Shack joke. And it basically is exactly the same joke of like, we used to have these and now they're gone.
Well, you know, it's Marvel making Marvel humor.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fact, like,
I would die for the
spoilers if you've not seen it yet, guys.
Seriously miscalculated.
I think it's safe to say this next bit is going to be vaguely spoilers. I loved the moment at the end of the film where she goes and confronts the accuser's ships, and just stands effectively in front of them and hits her fists together, and there's just the wave of energy coming out, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna go now. This is a bad time.
It doesn't sound like the place I want to be right now.
But also, I knew the moment they made the reference in the morgue of Fury holding the thing up to his eye after the car crash. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, they're gonna have, like, this is gonna have the origin story of that. We're gonna find out where he lost his eye. Some point in this film, there's gonna be something happens that causes him to lose his eye. Because spoilers, he did that. He lost his eye.
Poison Ivy wins.
I don't think it was a very strong thing, though.
It was stupid.
It felt to me very much like we've got through all of the dangerous stuff.
You're clinically proven to be
Oh
pure
fuck, we forgot to do that.
I am the Green's.
Ah, well,
Yeah,
sure,
kinda.
throw it in at the end.
The facts just aren't on your side.
Begin.
But I enjoyed it, and I don't know whether it's... I mean, it's probably not going to be one that I can rewatch before Endgame comes out, but...
Yeah, it seems... I don't think you will. But, no, Endgame. Endgame is when again?
End of April.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
24th?
Definitely won't have the time to watch it before.
I mean, I know that there was... there was a podcast from some people I watch that did before Infinity Wars came out. Oh, no. Well, yeah, that killed me. Before Infinity War came out, they rewatched all of the Marvel movies once a week and had a podcast about it. I don't think they're going to do the same thing for this, because...
Yeah. I mean, I know that, like, in France, there's a cinema that is intending to have, like, most, not all, but most of the Marvel movies
Without a fight.
I would die for the Green.
in 1 or 2 nights,
Jesus.
and then having Endgame on the 3rd day.
Have you seen the Rousseau brothers have said which Marvel movies you definitely should rewatch?
No, I haven't seen that.
So the Rousseau brothers, who, for those of you not in the loop, are the direct... I'm just... Come on. Any of these could be hits, please. Who are the directors of the film, have basically come out and said there are 2 Marvel films you should rewatch before going into Endgame. The first one is Captain America Civil War. And the second is, obviously, Infinity War.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because...
I mean, they both link together, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, basically they were saying, like, the Civil War storyline sees sees the division between Cap and
Man.
Iron Man starting, and that plays in heavily to where they are at the start of Endgame.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you should watch the events immediately preceding Endgame.
Ivy wins.
Because I gotta feel like there's gonna be some sort of, like, very quickly...
Pull back.
Like, there's gonna be some very quickly after the snap stuff at the start of Endgame.
Especially after, let's just face it, so much death.
Yes.
I am the Green's chosen.
I mean, at the very least, you've got to think those scenes that we've been seeing in the trailers of them standing around looking at, like the missing posters and like the Jesus Christ, woman. Like yeah, basically looking at the missing people posters. That's got to be fairly soon after the snap. Obviously not immediately after, because how do you get the missing poster that quickly, but... Like, seeing as we see quite, from the looks of things, this film takes place over quite a while.
I've heard rumors that the movie is going like to be almost 3 hours long or something like that.
It's all but confirmed that... Oh wow, that's a cool ending. It's disappointing that I had to see that, but... Sorry, he did... I'm playing as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Injustice.
Yes.
And basically he just did the KO animation from the Turtles arcade game, where he just sat down on the floor and stars went round his head. If any of you guys in the chat are getting sick of me fighting Poison Ivy repeatedly, let me know and I will consider playing a different event. But also, I really want to beat Poison Ivy and get to the next level and finish this.
Seriously miscalculated that one.
Begin.
Will he beat Poison Ivy today?
At this rate, no, because she can just instantly kill me. Come on. Stop punching me in the face. This is really making me not like the fact that Sean wants to cosplay as Poison Ivy a lot.
I just see you seeing Sean cosplaying as Poison Ivy and
It's just
you
going to
like
give me
instantly want to...
horrendous PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah. I mean, you're playing against Poison Ivy, I'm playing as Catwoman right now.
Yeah, because we're both in DC games this time.
Well, I don't have any Marvel games on, so...
Sean
I
said
told
she
you, not-
knew there was a
not-
reason that she wanted to cosplay as Ivy.
To beat you, okay.
Apparently to kick the crap out of me.
John, I didn't think you were like that.
Poison Ivy wins.
I'm learning things.
Sean also says, ooh, Catwoman.
Yes, you can cosplay as Catwoman.
I don't think that was a I want to cosplay, more as a...
She's cool to cosplay.
Yeah.
I don't know, never cosplayed her when he did Riddler and Two-Face.
Green's chosen warrior.
The facts just aren't on your side.
Begin.
But yeah, overall,
Oh, apparently it was. Sammy knows me too well. Stop.
I know you so well that I can even guess your reference through a chat I'm not even looking at.
Stop punching me in the face. I'm gonna go murder a potted plant in a minute.
But yeah, like, it's gonna be interesting, and especially, like, it kind of opens up as well the second part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
Yes.
obviously they're not going to be finished with Endgame. Too much money at stake.
No, and I know that they've also been talking about what comes after Endgame.
Ivy wins.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, I'll leave the plants alone.
Ah, it's because of the orchids. I understand now.
I mean, to be fair, I do call Sean Poison Ivy.
That's...
She wants to take over the
Okay.
world with plants.
Yeah, that... Okay, I see now.
It's
Sean, could you not? I like the word without too many plants in it.
I'm sure if we're nice to Sean, she'll not kill us with plants.
Seriously.
Am I Leonardo now?
Begin.
Well, if you consider what Poison Ivy to men in general,
Yeah.
I
Not
don't know
great.
what I prefer really.
Sean says you are one science experiment away, apparently.
Okay. It's not reassuring me, Sean.
She says, Sammy.
What?
I think that was the tone. Maybe it was Sammy.
What? What did I do again?
I'm not sure, maybe talking about what Poison Ivy does to men.
Yeah, well, it doesn't do nice things. I'm sorry.
Maybe I should change to Batman for this fight.
Yeah, Batman would kick our ass.
I don't know, it's me controlling Batman, so...
Ah. But normally, Batman
Oh,
would kick our
apparently no,
ass.
I was right the first time.
Poison Ivy wins.
So, are we done? Is that the Marvel side of this?
Well, I don't know, like, Captain Marvel is, I'd say, a very good movie from Marvel once again. They seem to be doing very well,
Yep.
usually. Especially with, considering, like, Captain Marvel is not the most known...
Well, I think the thing is they've run through their most known characters at this point.
well, now that they're getting the X-Men involved,
True. That does bring on a lot more. So that's what my Batman looks like.
At a fundraiser?
yeah, that will bring me a lot more new characters
Like
in
that,
the game.
that gives them a lot of options.
And really, I was expecting it to be a bit sooner, honestly.
I'm intrigued to see who they would bring in. Like, if they'd had the opportunity to bring in X-Men to Infinity War and Endgame, I'm intrigued to see what they would have done with that.
Well, more than probably, like, people like, maybe Wolverine would have died, I don't know. Actually, that's a thing, like, Wolverine is supposed to be mortal, but I think with the snap finger of Thanos, he would have evaporated.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to see.
Which, actually, that reminds me of things from the comic books. Oh, crap, no.
This is good, because this is a stream about comic books.
This is a stream about those things. Have you, by any chance, I know that you're not a huge Marvel reader,
Yes, I have said it multiple times already.
as you said tonight, repeatedly. The Hulk.
Yes.
Have you seen any of the recent stuff they've done with the Hulk?
Absolutely not.
So, they did
They did crap.
They did a storyline a little
Yeah.
while ago where they did the Civil War, the Second Civil War.
Okay.
And basically this time it was about an Inhuman who had the power to see the future.
What are you doing?
Okay.
And basically Captain Marvel, convenient segue, wanted to use this Inhuman's abilities to be able to see future crimes and prevent crimes from happening before the criminal could do the thing.
So basically a kind of minority report.
Yes. And Iron Man was along the lines of, no, like, that's perfectly fine for getting us in position to stop giant threats. Let's do that one. He was very much against the, let's stop the criminals before they do the crimes and lock them up so they can't do the crimes, especially when they found out that what this guy's powers allowed him to see a potential future, not the definite future. And basically, as part of this plot line, the Hulk went into a rampage, or was about to go into a rampage, and hadn't rampaged for a while, and had been Bruce Banner for quite some time.
Okay.
And it turns out that Bruce Banner was rather against the Hulk ever going into a rampage again, and had given a special adamantium arrow to Hawkeye, with instructions that if he was ever about to change again and doing the whole "you wouldn't like me if I'm, when I'm angry" bit, shoot it into the base of his spine. And
I see.
Well, that's inconvenient. My telly has decided to stop showing me footage.
That's rather inconvenient.
I would like it to be showing me footage now, please. Well, I'm going to have to exit to the main menu, which is very difficult with stream delay. I guess I'm not getting that.
Aww.
Can I do computer versus computer? And basically, they had a while where the Hulk was dead.
Yes.
And then... Oh, that is not right. That's not right. And then they brought him back, because the Hulk always comes back.
I mean, most of the heroes always comes back.
This is fair. Yeah, there we go. I can see the screen again. Yay. But basically, he's come back in the Immortal Hulk.
Okay.
And basically, he's immortal now. as in he can't die.
Yeah.
It's a really good comic if you like weird stuff that happens to the Hulk because he's the Hulk. They had one entire comic book. Let's play this one that apparently is going to be Poison Ivy. Let's play as Poison Ivy for a minute. Yes, it returns to the horror tones of the early Hulk comics.
Firestorm.
Okay, apparently I'm going to be Firestorm. And so like they had one entire comic where he was being dissected. And to keep him from attacking, they basically had all of his separate parts in different jars.
Ruby.
But all of the parts were still alive.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically, like, really Frankenstein this time.
Yes.
Not only Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Magic can't beat science.
Begin.
Oh, and hey, look, it's Black Adam. That guy from the Shazam movie
That has just come out.
that has just come out.
Yeah, that's true. Shazam just came out. Forgot to mention that. We should have mentioned that.
Yeah, if you like horror movies and also the Hulk, then he's
This
getting
is a
back
good
to
comic.
he's getting back to his horror origins.
That's a nice wordplay.
Yeah, thank you. Shall we talk about the Joker trailer?
Sure.
They released a Joker trailer.
Yes, they did. From thankfully not the Jared Leto Joker. Because fuck
I mean,
that.
enough said about him.
Yeah. Enough is enough about this guy. What did you think of it?
I'm intrigued.
I assume you've seen it.
I have seen it. I took a little bit of time. I wasn't as interested in it as, you know, an Endgame.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those that I instantly downed tools and went to see the trailer.
Yeah.
Sean is sensing some hatred for Jared Leto.
It's not Jared Leto. It's his portrayal of the character.
Yes.
And also the scriptwriter that fucking wrote that.
Several people have our hatred, and they aren't Jared Leto.
Guess the
Yeah.
answer stopped at Aristotle.
We've said before, we said last time we were discussing
So last month.
comic books, last month, that the Joker is a complex character.
The most complex character, some would say, even.
And that makes it very difficult to portray. Like,
Portray.
that makes him very difficult to portray. Brian,
Even to be written, because as a scriptwriter, to write a character that complicated and
Yes.
not make it a complete either cliche or joke, it's not easy.
Brian says Mark Hamill's portrayal is his favourite.
It's a very good one, yeah.
Heath Ledger is his favourite live action.
I would be very much in agreement with you, Ryan.
I mean, the one thing I think from this Joker trailer, or my biggest concern with having a Joker film, is that the Joker, part of the reason I think the Joker works quite well is that he's not the source, like he's not the center of the storyline, it's not about him.
Yeah.
And part of the reason he works is that we don't know who he is. He could be anybody.
I have a theory for this because of like that bugged me as well when I saw that they were doing a Joker movie.
Yeah.
And like the main thing that makes the Joker so interesting is that he literally has no past in the sense of I think
he tells
several
everybody a
times.
different origin.
Yeah, he tells every time like if I must have a past, let's have several ones or something like that.
Yeah.
My theory is this is not the Joker's past as one of the versions that the
Joker's
Joker
past.
says. Yeah. That's my theory to make it work, because if they say this is the official Joker past now, I'm gonna be very pissed. Like Tim Burton, when he did the first Batman, went for kind of Killing Joke past.
Yes. Which is one of the closest we've got in comics to.
Yeah.
Like,
but once again, it's a
Joker
version.
origin.
Yeah, it's a version of his origin story. It could very much be completely a lie.
I mean, I think the only Joker origin that we know for certain, and the only amount of it that you actually even need to know for certain, is sort of the lines that you get in The Killing Joke, where he says about madness being the escape. And that's all you need. He had a bad day. We don't know what that. We don't necessarily know what that bad day was. Something went down, and he took the emergency escape.
That's actually a very interesting quote as well, because it works real well for Batman as well. He had a bad day and he took the emergency exit.
That's part of the thing that I think is great about the two of them, is that they do have very much a similar origin story, and they know about as much of their origin story, like from the Joker's perspective, he knows as much about the Batman's origin story as we know about the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that there's this guy that dresses up as a bat. Something happened like something must have happened that caused that. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know who the Batman is.
Actually doesn't really care as well.
Doesn't matter to him who Batman is. I mean, I absolutely love, and I've recommended this guy a number of times, and really you should be going to listen to his music on my recommendations. There's a guy that does music, geeky, nerdy music, nerdy, as I apparently tried to call it, as both geek and nerd at the same time. Guy that does geeky music called The Miracle of Sound.
Yeah.
And he basically takes popular video games, popular TV series and movies, and makes a song inspired by them. And so some of them are in-universe songs that could take place in that world, and others are just funky songs about that world that don't necessarily take place that could take place in this world, but are about that. But they're not specifically that. Except for the one he did for Batman Arkham City.
Yeah.
Which is just the Joker's song.
Which is incidentally the game I'm playing as well.
Which is basically just the Joker singing to Batman. And they talk, like, in it, it's him singing as a fairly good impersonation of Mark Hamill's Joker. Where he is basically saying to Batman, like, he's singing to Batman, we're opposites but we're the same, is one of the lines that comes up a couple of times. He talks about Batman, like, while Batman gets tired of the Batman versus the Joker thing, he won't make it end, because in the Joker's opinion, Batman and the Joker, the Joker is Batman's only friend.
Yeah.
And I think there's some very interesting stuff there to look at in terms of, like, the relationship between the two of them is they are very similar origin stories. They've both had some traumatic experience. They've both attempted to move on in their own ways. One of them in a way of, I don't want this to happen to other people. I want to make it so that nobody else needs to go through that day that I had as a child.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one has gone the other route and wants to point out anybody can go through this. This isn't, I'm not special. I'm the Joker. Hello. But I'm not unique. Any of you can have a bad day. By the way, here you go. Here's millions of you having a bad day at once. Any of you could turn out to be me. Also, Wonder Woman's kicking the crap out of Firestorm right now.
Yeah. Well, at least in the trailer for the Joker, what I find interesting is the choice of Dragon Phoenix for the
Yep.
to portray him. It's an interesting choice. He strikes me already as better. I know that I will laugh a lot as better than better on this, because he does look way more, unhinged.
Yes.
Than like, even when you look at Dragon Phoenix out of character, just being him, he looks more unhinged than would Jared Leto. The guy played Commodus in Gladiator. At this point, he's going to make a good Joker. But my thing is, I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know if they're planning to put it into the universe.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if it's a completely separate movie, because if they're doing it in the DC universe, I'm like, is it going to be the new Joker, or is it, like, what are you going to do basically with that shit?
I mean, the other big thing is, if they're putting this in the DC universe, this film, from like the art style, the clothing, the technology and the time period, it's the 1970s. So
actually, it's the 70s, yeah.
So either how old is... Like, how far into the future have we got to wait for Batman to show up?
What are you made of anyway?
And also, how old is the Joker gonna be?
Begin.
Because, you know, if we've got to wait until, like, 2010, that's 40 years after this film between the Joker and Batman.
Well, there's speculations that Joker movie will be like the origin story for Batman as well. In the sense that they would do what Tim Burton did in Batman and use the Joker to be the one
the
who
one
killed,
that shoots
yeah,
the Waynes.
Thomas and Martha Wayne. In which sense I would be like, the fuck? Because that would mean like, I don't know how old the Joker is supposed to be at this moment, but he's not 20.
No.
That would mean the Joker would be at least into his good 50s, maybe 60s when, when Bruce Wayne gets to be pretty much Bruce Wayne.
I mean, the... like, the other thing is, with the Tim Burton version, Joker was the one that shoots Thomas and Martha Wayne, but he's not the Joker at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, the character that we're seeing in these trailers, he's not a criminal until, like, I'm assuming at least, until he snaps and becomes the Joker.
Firestorm wins.
Brian suggests that a little while ago, Brian suggested that Solomon Grundy would work better as a villain protagonist.
For the...
for just having the film about...
I have never thought of Solomon Grundy to be a very good villain, to be honest. It's
and
basically a
also,
corpse.
more recently, like just now, he's pointed out that he thinks this might be a standalone.
I hope so, because if it's not a standalone, then it contradicts a lot the version of the Joker we have in Suicide Squad, which is unfortunately not a standalone.
What I would like it to be, and I don't know if they're going to do this, and I know that we've briefly touched on this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It would work very well as the origin of a Joker.
Yeah.
And maybe like this is the Joker that inspires another Joker to come up in the future.
Maybe, yeah, it could work.
And like, this isn't the first. Like, this is the first Joker, and then, you know, whoever they get in the next movie is just sort of, you know, the GCPD are like, well, how the hell is this guy still around? It can't
He's
possibly
supposed
be
to
the
be
same
dead.
person.
Yeah, could do. That could be interesting indeed. Oh.
So I guess time will tell, and with... The other thing I'm intrigued by is we've not seen full Joker yet in these
We've
trailers.
seen...
We've seen him in clown makeup.
Yeah. An outfit, yeah.
And we've seen him getting progressively
Firestorm wins.
unhinged.
Mad.
And I absolutely love the bookending of the trailer with that shot of the stairs.
Yeah.
Because at the start of it, you've got him walking along the stairs, and then at the end he's dancing down the stairs in the clown getup. And so I think it's that's interesting.
So I found it a bit bizarre thing they did with the mother.
Yes.
Because basically for those who don't know what I'm talking about in the trailer, there is a moment in the trailer where Joker mentions that his mother always used to tell him to smile and to have him then bathe his mother.
Yes.
My difficulty with this scene is that it's something more of the Penguin's character development, because the relationship between the Penguin and his mother is very strong, and it looks a lot like what is actually shown in the trailer. So I don't know if they actually took that out to put it in the backstory of the Joker for this one. And I don't feel like it works. If it is the case, I'd be very interested to see what happens to the mother. He needs to go for the Joker to become Joker.
Yes, I get the feeling that that might play into the very bad day that causes the Joker to come out.
And I could be completely wrong, and it might be actually the wife of the Joker she's bathing.
I get the feeling from what we see that the mother has got both the Joker. Do we actually know what his name is?
No, he's not mentioned once.
He's not got a name.
The name is not mentioned once, yeah. Which is an interesting way of doing it.
Yes. I get the feeling that both the Joker and his mum have medical issues.
More than possibly, yeah.
Because we obviously see whoever the Joker is going to the hospital and collecting his medicine. If he is taking care of his mother, like that's something that will be a very stressful thing on a person. And so even if it's not necessarily the thing that breaks him and makes him become the Joker, it's another, it's a point that is going to be pushing him towards it.
Professor and I are testing our powers.
Pushing him towards snapping.
You're
Yeah.
today's guinea pig.
Begin.
But I was very much despairing about the DC universe. If they go more into the direction of stopping to trying to copy the Marvel movies and just make their own identity, like
movies.
not only movies but like basically identity of, because they got the characters for it. They just need to fucking stop copy and paste what's already been done 10 years ago, because that will never work. I think Joker might be the start of that. Hopefully so. I guess we'll see.
That will be good to see. Thank you.
It will be a movie that I will probably go and watch with interest and curiosity. Which, to be fair, on movies about superhero, hasn't been the case for a long time now.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's either that it's like either a remake of a Marvel movie, or just when you see the trailer you're like, oh my fucking god, what did they do?
Yeah.
But I'm still very salty about Suicide Squad, if you haven't noticed.
It's come up.
Firestorm
I don't remember when it was released, but I remember very well my feelings after the movie. Yeah, Joker is an
Looking forward to it.
interesting thing. And after that, I actually that will be like the fifth or sixth big representation of the Joker that we have. Have you seen what they did with the Joker in Gotham, by the way?
I haven't actually. No, I watched up until about series 3 of Gotham's.
Next time, Professor.
Well, I haven't watched that much because obviously, since we started doing the reviews on Geek World and was stopped by the YouTube algorithm, I haven't continued, and because I want to be able to continue the videos, but
So what have they done with the Joker?
well, my main problem with the fact that the Joker was in Gotham is that the Joker appeared before
Batman.
Batman was there. Which is also my main problem with Gotham, it's that 99% of all the villains of Gotham are already there before Batman actually comes fruition.
Yeah.
And also, Catwoman knows a bit too much about Batman before he's even Batman.
Yeah, she's a little bit familiar.
She is a little bit. It's cute of them doing the romance between Catwoman and Batman that early, but still, it's a bit early. They're like 8 years old or something. But like with Joker, they basically went with it's the character of big spoilers for those who haven't seen Gotham, by the way. Jerome, I think.
Yeah,
who is.
I remember him being like, I've seen episodes with him in where it's like very heavily he is a proto Joker.
He is actually the Joker in the sense of he is the first Joker.
Right.
And then I think he dies.
Yes.
And it's hinted that he has big usual comic book twist. He has a twin brother.
Oh.
And this twin brother becomes the new Joker, basically.
Well, that explains how he came back from the dead. Cool.
And the Batman who is starting to be Batman at age 10.
He's a young
literally.
bloomer.
Yeah, he's very young and a bit too young to become Batman, but you know, why not? I don't remember if he's actually age 10, but he looks like he's 10. Kind of has to face Joker for the first time. It's really weird, and I don't know what to think of it really, because I can see that they're trying to, you know, to well, push Batman to become Batman in Gotham.
Yeah.
But I feel that unfortunately with Gotham they're going too much into let's show as many villains as we can before
We've got Batman.
Before we got Batman, because basically where I stopped in the Batman in the Gotham theory, Victor Zsasz was already there, the Riddler was already there, we had well, obviously Penguin was already there, Catwoman was there, Solomon Grundy was not there, but the character was there and was becoming Solomon Grundy soon after.
Gee.
And there was like others, like there was the Bane Venom was already used. Crane was there already and was becoming Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, okay. The reason that works in the world of Batman is because Batman walks in dressed as a fucking bat, which makes everyone that is unhinged in Gotham accept the fact that they can take new personalities, new
Yeah.
identities, and all that. If Batman's not there, it just means that half the population of Gotham is crazy enough to accept the fact that they're going to take basically a super villain name out of the blue.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to be a supervillain if there's not a superhero there.
Especially if you're going for a realistic place, and Gotham is very much like it looks like New York.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like you was telling me like, oh yeah, in London today there's someone dressed as a rat called the Rodent, and I'd be like, okay, why? Interesting. But alas, I think it's also the last of the Gotham. I think yeah, it's the last of them. Of the Gotham seasons. Not sure though. I have to read it. Ooh.
Professor and I don't think so.
How goes your fighting?
The Scarecrow's kicking my ass now.
Oh, well, everyone seems to be kicking your ass.
I mean, you only seem to be asking when I'm having trouble with the fights. I mean,
Well,
to be fair, you've only had the time to ask when I've had trouble beating a particular person.
it's usually when you stop talking.
Yeah, that's fair. No, the Scarecrow has a very annoying move where he can just apparently grab you and stop your momentum, and it just keeps messing me up.
I've seen the what Scarecrow looks like in this game. Like, it looks like a weird combination of Arkham's Scarecrow and comic book Scarecrow.
Yeah. It's definitely very Arkham inspired.
I mean, most of the Batman games now are very Arkham inspired. Unfortunately, even Spider-Man is Arkham inspired.
True.
Unfortunately,
I'm looking forward to Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, says Brian Croy Dragon.
well, you got to make that happen now.
The idea of Batman and the Joker being voiced by the same character, by the same actor, is interesting.
I mean, talking of Joker, by the way, have you seen it's completely out of subject, but like not that much because I'm talking about Mark Hamill. And the fact that Mark Hamill is Joker,
Yes.
basically. Have you seen that he's going to be Chucky?
I have seen that. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting first.
Firestorm wins.
Well, after Joker's voice is going to be a very interesting new voice.
I've
guess.
now beat the Scarecrow, by the way.
Yay! And I'm now starting Arkham Origins.
The other Mark Hamill thing that have you seen Justice League Action? I think it's called.
That doesn't ring a bell.
It's a recent animated series of Justice League shorts. They're 15-minute or so long episodes. And they did a short action sketch where the Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill, teamed up with the Trickster, voiced by Mark Hamill, to kidnap voice actor and celebrity Mark Hamill, as voiced by Mark Hamill.
So it's basically Mark Hamill versus Mark Hamill.
And saving the day was Swamp Thing, who in the DC animated series is voiced by Mark Hamill. It was basically a short animated sketch where 4 of the principal characters were Mark Hamill.
He must have had a lot of fun with that.
And like one of the key points in it is that Mark Hamill, the character, uses his ability to take the voice, like to make the voice of the Joker and the Trickster, to confuse the two of them in the car chase that they're in and turn them against each other.
It sounds like something I should see.
It's good, and you can probably find it on YouTube. But it is basically it's Mark Hamill and Mark Hamill kidnap Mark Hamill, who gets saved from Mark Hamill and Mark Hamill by Mark Hamill. Also, I'm on the final fight of this sequence, and it's Captain Cold versus Firestorm.
Just who?
Captain Cold versus Firestorm.
Oh, interesting.
Firestorm just won. I was Firestorm.
I was about to ask you for a Captain Cold.
Sean says that makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
It must just be fun.
Brian just says, Mark Hamill, the television special.
Yeah.
Yay, I unlocked some Poison Ivy gear.
Yippee.
And also some other stuff, but primarily this piece of Poison Ivy, the Calyx Crown. Let's go see what that is. And Cyborg's Ruckus Maker arms. So actually, before we wrap up, and while I'm loot boxing and checking out the gear I've just unlocked in Injustice, between the streams, I know I referenced this comic to you, and I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but have you had a chance to see the new Darth Vader comic yet?
I looked for it. Unfortunately, it's been sold out everywhere I were. I'm still looking for it. Wow. Because it seems to be an interesting one.
So for those of you in the chat who don't know this, and also for Samy, they just did a Darth Vader comic. They've now done 2 issues of it. Ooh, I unlocked some epic Scarecrow stuff. Which would be great if I ever played the Scarecrow.
Well, you better start playing the Scarecrow now.
Apparently. So they have done 2 issues of a Darth Vader comic called Darth Vader Dark Visions. And it is basically...
Very dark.
Basically, Darth Vader dealing with, like... Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
it is Darth Vader dealing with short stories around him. And so the first one is from the viewpoint of an alien who has never seen the Empire, or doesn't know who Darth Vader is.
Yes.
And so basically, goes up against, like, watches this epic fight between Darth Vader and a giant alien creature. As just a very cool moment between the two of them. Meanwhile, the second one focuses on a lieutenant, a commander of a Star Destroyer, who has wiped out a rebel base and crushed a rebel base and dealt with a certain number of things, but has lost a rebel spy. And he reports back to the Emperor. Like, he gets his captain to report back to the Emperor and say that they've had a great victory. At which point the Emperor messages back and says, "Great, we're sending Darth Vader to come and pick up the rebel spy that you've captured."
Ah.
At which point he shits himself and realises that he's now got to go and get the rebel spy, because they have to have the rebel spy for Darth Vader to come and take away. Because they also show that in a previous existence, he saw an entire room of people being force choked. And he now fears Darth Vader.
And rightly so.
Because why wouldn't you if you saw him murder an entire room of people and his exiting words were, "Don't let me catch you failing." I've now got a very cool crown for Poison Ivy.
Is it using Shern?
Let me check. Shah, what do you think of this outfit for Ivy? She says, "Ooh, fancy."
Ooh.
Let's see if I can win some fights with Ivy. Don't know how much we've got left to discuss, but I'm going to try and win some fights with Ivy.
Well, we did Joker, we did Captain Marvel. We could talk about Shazam, even though we didn't see the movie yet. Or did you?
I have not yet, no. My last week they did
Poison Ivy.
they did unlimited screenings for like special preview screenings for if you have a Cineworld Unlimited card. Sean says, I'm intrigued to know which Samy prefers overall.
What's up, what? You got out for me, John.
I'm intrigued to know which Samy prefers overall, though.
You cut out again at the same word.
Don't pretend you don't see me, Ivy.
I'm intrigued to know which Samy prefers overall, though.
Begin.
Ah. Of Poison Ivy's or?
Unsure. What would you like to... Which... Poison Ivy's various outfits, which is your favourite?
Mine is... I'd say the Arkham City one that she has is a very good one. In general manner, her fiction in Arkham is rather good. Hey, Tiny. The depiction in Arkham is rather good, so...
Well, I'm beating the crap out of Captain Cold right now.
God damn it. Nope.
Careful, you'll catch cold.
Bad Croc, stay down.
Yeah, I know where you are then. So yeah,
Ouch.
basically they did unlimited screenings for it last week.
Yeah.
I can't remember which day it was last week, but I went downstairs after doing a stream, and my dad was like, "Do you want to go and see Captain Marvel? They're doing an unlimited screening this week." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I want to go see Captain. Yeah, I want to go see Shazam." And we looked it up, and it was the screenings had finished about an hour earlier that night.
What do you
When I said I was beating up Captain Cold, he pulled it out at the end there.
No doubt your view's better than mine.
Begin.
What was that? That was just posing.
You seem to be in difficulty again, John. Come on, Crotch. Yes, I know. I love the game sometimes. Game telling me, "Do not let Croc see you." No shit,
Oh,
Sherlock.
thanks for that game. So yeah, I've not seen Shazam yet. I'm looking forward to it because it does look like it's a fun movie.
Some have said that it looks like a Guardian of the Galaxy, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope not, because I'll be very pissed to see that they're doing again another.
Another let's see what Marvel did with their films and do that.
Yeah. Because that worked with Marvel, it should work with DC.
Somebody call the ice cream man?
I beat up Captain Cold.
Yay!
Poison Ivy gets to sit on the throne now.
I've been beat up by Croc, and I'm happy with that.
After you've blocked an attack, block escape by using... What's the meter burn button? Sean says, "Woo, I need me a comfy plant throne."
I'll
See, you can't convince me now, Sean, that you aren't Poison Ivy. You are like Poison Ivy waiting for the lab experiment to go wrong. I get the feeling we're running out of comic book stuff to talk about for now. Sean says, note to self, time to spend more time in labs.
No, Sean, you're staying away from them. Very much away. Actually, John.
Yes.
So, Sean is Poison Ivy.
Okay.
Who would you be as a Batman villain?
Let's see. Victor Freeze springs to mind.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
Interesting. Do you need to work in a lab as well?
Yeah. It's I mean, it's a common problem with Batman villains is that they worked in a lab and then something went wrong.
It's either that or the psychiatrists. And then you really are wondering why Arkham Asylum is not, you know, checking all the backgrounds of everyone.
Really, background checks, guys. It's you know, it's a
But
really
it's
good idea.
beginning to be an issue right now.
It's a bit embarrassing, is what it is. It's,
Yeah. Who would he? Who would Amy be?
Amy.
I don't know. I see kind of Harley Quinn.
I could see Amy being a very good Harley Quinn.
Flounce away, Ivy. I'll leave when I'm done with you.
Begin.
I mean, I can't see you as anybody but the Riddler.
What?
The Riddler. You are the Riddler.
Oh, thanks.
Um,
I do enjoy being the Riddler. Actually, people have told me I have the physical trait to be Scarecrow as well, but I prefer being Riddler.
I mean, I could vaguely see that, but
The goddess will
I mean, you did a good cosplay of the Riddler, and that really swings it.
Yeah, that helped.
Ow.
Then who would be our Batman? We need a Batman. I don't know why I see Carbon as Alfred.
That says a lot about Carboon, really, doesn't it?
He is a diplomat.
Yeah. Ow. Ow. I mean, are we, let's see, who else?
Who else do we have? We have, well, we have Brian. And we have Tanny.
Sean says, wow, that does say a lot about Carboon.
What? Alfred's cool. Alfred is Special Forces in Britain.
Sean says she's interested to know what Carboon thinks of being Alfred.
What, Carbon, what?
What does Carboon think on being Alfred?
Yeah, we should ask him.
You'll have to pass that question on and we'll find out.
I will. I will also tell him I see him as Alfred.
I mean, actually, the only thing that makes the only thing that convinces me that you to not be the Riddler is that I could see you and Maddie being the Joker and Harley Quinn. Stop running away from her, punch her in the face.
Except that, in the best possible way, I would not like to have the relationship the Joker has with Harley Quinn,
The
which is
Joker
not
and Harley Quinn, like,
which is not the Suicide Squad one at all.
no.
Way more violent than this. Like, I don't see myself beating Harley for actually doing good things.
No, I mean, as much as some people say that's a relationship to aim for, it really isn't. And read the stuff, like read the more of the source material.
And even like people who say like Catwoman and Batman are like the dream couple.
There's
It's
a
so
lot of shit
fucking
happening
not.
there as well.
Yeah, it's not good. And Natalia and Batman as well, it's not good. None of the relationships are really good. Like,
I mean,
Lois and Superman is way better on this regard.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy wins.
Because poor Batman just can't catch a break.
Batman. Brian is asking, is he Alfred? I don't know. Like Alfred, I'd say Brian is probably. What's Fox? What's his first name?
Lucius?
Lucius Fox.
Ah, that's worse. Actually, I could see Shannon as the Joker, honestly.
Okay.
If Shannon's still there in the chat, he can confirm or deny.
So, let's see. We've done Amy. We've done Sean, obviously.
We have done you and me.
You and me, Carboom. Who is
Brian.
Green.
Maddie.
Egotistical and naive.
Begin.
Also now Poison Ivy is fighting Darkseid in what is a very one-sided, like, this is an obvious fight who should win.
I mean, you know, the scriptwriter could always come up with a solution. It's very, very unlikely, but... Maddie... I don't know why I... like, a kind of... girl could work. Actually.
Sorry, was that Batgirl?
Yeah, bad girl.
It cut out at the very start of that word so that it was like, did he say bat or cat?
Well,
No!
I don't know for Catwoman, really. It could work as well. Hold on. Oh no, I know. We've got Talia al Ghul, right?
True.
I think that would be more than probably the best bet. No crotch. No, no, no. Stop trying to hit my face. No. 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 I said no.
No, 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 no! I got Omega beamed into space.
Ah. It happened.
He's not killed me yet, but... I killed him! Yay! I killed Darkseid. That shouldn't have happened. Go, Sean.
Poison Ivy wins.
Yeah, Sean managed to kill Darkseid. That's impressive.
Let's see. Sean is Batman.
Really?
I reckon he's...
Who, Jeff?
Ooh, good point.
Actually, Jeff could make a good fucking Alfred as well, I just realized.
So we've got
It
two
works very
Alfreds
well.
and no Batman.
Well, you said Sean is Batman.
True. Okay, so we've got two Alfreds.
We need to decide between Carboom and Jeff. Jeff gets 1 point because he's British.
He does have that going for him. What we need to
Yes.
do is you need to bring Carboom to MCM and we'll have a battle for who is Alfred.
Battle for who gets to be Batman. Batman's best.
Battle for the butler.
Battle for the butler. Actually, Carboom could maybe. I'm trying to find another character that can be good for.
Brian points out that most of the FBF crew are British.
There's
I
a few
mean-
Americans as well.
That is fair.
and two French,
We've got 2 Frenchmen. We've got
and one
a
Canadian.
Canadian.
2 Canadian. Brian's one as well.
Brian's Canadian. Demona is our first American from America.
You got an Irish within Cursor.
Yes. Ow. Die, Brainiac.
Well, after fighting Darkseid, Brainiac should be a.
Yeah, except it's Brainiac is the final boss of the game, and so you fight Brainiac on Brainiac's ship, and Brainiac kicks the crap out of you. You're crew adjacent. Welcome to the round table. Well, not the round table, but
Take the city.
welcome to
Nice.
the final boss fight.
Welcome.
Selfish,
Have a seat.
like all men.
Begin.
Welcome to the final boss fight. This is actually a final boss fight of a game. This is very rare for us.
It's usually in D&D.
Jeff and I have joked a lot that we have this website called Final Boss Fight, and we never show final boss fights on it. And here I am being beaten up by the final boss of the game.
At least it's a final boss fight. People have finally received what they should have received long ago.
And this is very much how not to beat the final boss of this game.
So, John, who do you think Jeff would be if he wasn't Alfred?
Let's see. He could be the Penguin.
Brainiac wins.
I could see him doing a very good job as the Penguin.
Yeah. That would be the Penguin of
You're immune.
Gotham,
Begin.
in physical terms.
Yes. Come on, Sean, let's beat this final boss.
Use the power of the plans against the power of the brain. Literally.
Bye, Brainiac. Get eaten by that giant flower.
Calvin could make a good scarecrow if it wasn't Alfred.
Your pain brings no pleasure.
Now, who would be Tanny? Not easy, because there's not a lot left. Who do we have? Unfortunately, there's no dragons as enemy Batman.
Yeah, there's a distinct lack of dragon enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's where Tanny comes in, and that's why we've beaten the Batman in this.
So we've beaten Sean.
We've beaten, yeah.
Emotions weaken.
Actually, I could see Sean kick my ass, honestly.
I mean, I think Sean could kick pretty much all of our asses, which is also a very good reason he's the Batman.
Brainiac wins.
I mean, if Sean wasn't Batman, I'd see him as Bane. But like the proper comic book Bane, where he's strong and also quite intelligent. Not like
Take
the
cities. It's the queen I want.
movie Bane, like the first movie Bane, where he's Bane Smash.
Like all men.
Yeah,
Begin.
that was a very poor rendition of it. But the second Bane was not that bad.
No, the second Bane was better.
Very interesting to see Calendar Man in a movie, actually. Could make a good villain.
Typical human ineptitude.
I got him down to 1 hit bar.
Come on, John, you got this.
Uh-oh.
Wait for sure.
Uh-oh. He got his super move off and now I'm probably dead. We're on that. How is that firing at us? Yeah, I died.
No.
We're going again. I like how we've completely stopped talking about comic books and stuff.
I mean, we
Sort of.
are in a sense.
True.
It's still comic book related,
Sorry, Sean.
but you failed Sean, and that's unacceptable. I'm also concentrating not to die again from Croc. Okay. So, we talked of the Shazam movie, we talked of Joker, we talked of... well, obviously Captain Marvel. That was the start.
And Endgame coming up.
And Gotham.
Yes. Did you
I'm
see
trying to
the?
find... Yeah.
Did you see the?
So little accomplished.
Did you see Gotham City making an appearance in the CW series crossover this year?
I did.
What do you think of that?
It's an interesting choice. But in where exactly? In what exactly it appears?
So in the Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl crossover episodes, they went to Gotham City and they met with Batman.
Okay.
No, that's cheating. No, you don't need this. You don't need this.
What does he need?
He did a, like I did my super move to wear him out, and he used his, he used the Clash thing to regain health, because, you know.
That's cheating.
No, you fuck! I wonder how hard this would be if it was Galactiac. The combination of Brainiac and Galactus. It's hard enough being just Brainiac, Brian.
You fighting that with Poison Ivy, we're meaning, by the way.
Yeah, I mean...
that would be practically impossible. I'm now picturing Thanos versus Poison Ivy. That would be quite a beating. Ah. Talking of Riddler, I'm about to meet him.
Yay! No, no.
Your pain
stupid, cheesy special moves you have.
So Injustice 2,
Yes,
the
game I've been playing.
yeah, they had a very interesting storyline as well. Again, a bit like when I saw Harley Quinn being a good guy, I was that is an interesting path to take.
Yes, it's a thing they're doing a lot recently with Harley. Is that she's vaguely good guy.
Which should be totally Catwoman's and Talia al Ghul's some kind of side personality, let's say,
Yeah.
more than Harley Quinn. Because Harley Quinn is definitely mad. Like, the Joker, we can say, is like it's unclear if he's real mad or just faking it.
But Harley is definitely.
Yep. I mean, just to stay with the Joker, with the way he's treating her. You better.
So little accomplished.
Ooh, so much people. Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if you've read the Heroes in Crisis comics,
I've read a few.
but that is definitely there's a Harley Quinn being the hero
Yeah.
in that. Well, not necessarily
That's-
the hero, but
That is a good person.
Harley.
I could see her being like a kind of anti-hero, sort of.
Yeah.
Though full-on hero is a bit too much, maybe.
No.
I'm trying to find again the big DC universe we did. We still have to send it to DC, by the way.
Yeah.
Here I have it. Yeah, we really went with an interesting choices. I should really type this out and send it to you at some point. We'll make parody of trailers for the new DC universe.
Worth collecting.
Solomon Grundy teams up with Riddler against the Justice League.
That'd be interesting to find the footage for.
You can always cheat with some Arkham footage. It is true that like Solomon Grundy would be an interesting actor to see in a movie. Fortunately, isn't shown anywhere. I think there was a reference in one Christopher Nolan's movie to Killer Croc, but
Oh, come on!
what did he do again?
He was on the ground and he did he just did a floor pulses with energy move that was just enough to kill me. Like, I had very little health left. I wasn't going to win that fight, but he was about half his second health bar down.
Brainiac has two health bars?
Everybody in the game, you've got 2 health bars. But Basically, the way they make Brainiac the final boss and really difficult is he has a lot of really cheesy big moves that do a lot of damage. Because the idea is you're fighting him on his spaceship, so he's just kicking the crap out of you with laser beams from everywhere and giant tentacle arms.
That seems like cheating. I mean, who would be a good villain without cheating?
True.
Especially Riddler. Okay, that's an interesting moment. I'm beating up guys in the street as Batman. And as I come to the last one, he jumps towards me, yelling at me, "Get away from me!"
Interesting maneuver.
Like, you're the one coming, dude.
No! Ow, you son of a...
Language. Language. But now I'm Captain America in Marvel. Okay. Always hated that character, but sure. Really, I'm not a fan of Captain America. I don't know why. Mainly because he's so kind of
Yes.
self-righteous.
Son of a biscuit, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, of course. So, are you Iron Man in Marvel? If I'm Captain America.
I mean, he's definitely a technological hero, and I like to think I'm a fairly tech guy, so yeah.
He's kind of the Batman of Marvel, really. In the sense that all his abilities are mainly due to
Tech
his
and
equipment.
gadgetry.
Yeah. And he's also super rich and quite intelligent. And incidentally, this his well, not his parents were killed, but he has strong family.
He has family issues.
Yeah, just as Mr. Ed, just as Mr. Batman.
I'm trying to think of any plant-based Marvel characters now, other than just saying Sean is Groot.
Plant-based Marvel characters. They're not
See you
X-Men.
around,
It's
Tanny.
plant-based thing. See you, Tanny. Is
Son
that
of a
plant-based?
biscuit, you absolute wagon wheel.
Wow, what did he do to know you this much?
He shot me with a laser beam. We are shown. Hey, Rekia. I mean, as much as at some point we should end this stream, I really want to I really want to finish this fight.
I'll finish the Arkham Origins game before we finish this. I hope not, for your sake. Come on.
I have things to do. I need to be up in the morning.
I just imagine you explaining why you're so tired tomorrow. I had to fight Brainiac on his ship. Come on, John, you can do this.
Probably not this round. He's just got down to his second health bar. I'm at half of mine. Sean says, I am Sean.
Yes, you are, Sean. And you are also Poison Ivy.
Shot me with a laser again. So I was watching before the stream
Yes.
a video of a YouTuber making a D&D character of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And not a D&D character for themselves to play a game. They were literally making themselves as a D&D character.
Okay.
And so I was discussing this with Sean. And Sean asked me if I'd ever made myself as a role-playing game character. And I said I'd done 2 different games where I played a version of me. One of which was a zombie survival game.
You mentioned that one once.
I think I've brought that up when we've discussed the fact that you're running a zombie survival game.
We brought that up for a when you wanted to do a Halloween stream D&D,
Possibly that.
and you were hesitating between that or Call of Cthulhu.
Yes. But basically, I played me in a game of that once, and we died very quickly. There was a fire at a petrol station, and it went about as well as you can expect a fire at a petrol station would go.
Kaboom.
Big kaboom.
And John is not fireproof.
No. The other one I played was a superhero role-playing game where we started statting ourselves, and then the DM for that game randomly generated the superpowers that our characters would gain.
Your pain brings no pleasure.
And what was your superpower?
My superpower was shadow manipulation,
Ah, that sounds cool.
and so I could duck into shadows and go mostly invisible. I could teleport from one shadow to another, and I could blast people with shadows.
That sounds wicked. That sounds also pretty much like a super villain power.
It was pretty... Like, I was definitely an anti-hero.
You were the Punisher, basically.
Pretty much. Except with superpowers.
And what was your reason then to use your superpower?
It was mostly because, like, in the game, because we started off being me, my reason for being the superhero was I was a big comic book nerd, so obviously the second I got superpowers, of
Technically, you got superpower.
Of course the thing I did was go out and become a superhero.
Sensible.
So my question for you, Sammy, off the back of that.
Before we go for that, I am very, very intrigued of what was your superhero name.
I can't remember.
Oh, come on. John manipulating shadows must have a very cool name.
I don't remember if we did that or not.
Let the chat decide.
What would your powers be? Like, not which character would you be. If you had superpowers based on your personality.
Is there a list somewhere? Because I could think of several, so I need to like narrow it down a bit.
No, Brainiac, no, don't have done the thing you just did. Never mind, you've already done it. But...
Ouch! Dude, beating me with a baseball bat, not cool. Let me break your arm.
Come on. No, no,
Or
no.
leg, that works too.
No, no. Yes! Yes! By the way, I've just won.
Are you sure? It doesn't seem like you've won, by the sound of it. You seem so
I'm putting the
disappointed.
controller down. Sean says woo. Hopefully Poison Ivy can survive the crashing spaceship she's currently within. I'm sure she survived that.
She did.
Woo! Final boss beaten!
Of
Suck
all
it!
the men I've charmed, Brainiac was the most useful.
Suck it, Brainiac!
With his help, I finally slaughtered the
Oh, that's definitely a Spider-Man reaction to it.
I whispered in his ear. Collect every last city.
So apparently,
I'll give you
in the Poison Ivy ending of Injustice 2, she seduces
every
Brainiac,
last city.
slaughters all the heroes, collects every city on Earth, and brings human civilization crashing to the ground. And
Such a
then
beautiful
kills
end.
Brainiac.
It was just a fling. After all, I was going to be busy leading.
Such a beautiful end.
I should have known there'd be some competition. Swamp Thing's sympathy for humans makes him weak. The
So,
plants now
Riddler is yelling at me,
and when the leaves settle,
accusing me of
this world
not going for a solution, just beating the crap out of it.
Fair.
Yeah, is there a kind of a list of the possibilities for this superpower?
I think what we'll do is we'll come back to that another time.
Mm-hmm.
I will put together a list. We'll come back with a list of superpowers. Because for now,
It is the end.
it is the end. Because there is no better way to end than
Beating Brainiac.
Poison Ivy beating Brainiac, seducing him, and taking over the world. So, Sean, congratulations, you've just taken over the world. Let me go back to the boot cam real quick. Guys in the chat, thank you for following along with us tonight. Sean says, yay, go me.
Yay! Good thing beat. Good deed today. Good thing done.
Guys in the chat, thank you so much. Brian says, all hail Empress Sean.
I mean, we're all dead.
Guys in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and indulging as Sammy and I discuss comic books, movies, and video games and TV shows. We'll be back on Sunday for Tomb of Annihilation, where the group... Sean says, no, I left my favourites alive.
That doesn't actually reassure me either, the way you said it, John.
I'm hoping that at least you and I count amongst those people.
Well, I don't know.
I hope. Sean can answer that. Sam and I were back for Tomb of Annihilation on Sunday, where the group is somewhat spread out over Omu. Riordan and Philippe have just claimed the 8th puzzle cube. Torin and Theodas have... Sean says, of course we do.
Oh, good.
Torin and Theodas have made their way back to camp separately. Romad is currently missing in the jungles. or in the Lost City somewhere. And Renala and
If he went to the
Seraphine...
jungle, we're fucked.
Renala and Seraphine have gone out to locate him. So we'll pick up with the action somewhat spread out over the north end of Omu. And we'll see how that goes for everybody. On Monday, Sean and I will be continuing Minecraft Mondays, because that's the thing we do on Monday. Next week, we will hopefully be working out how the curtain works, and also supplying the tavern with its ale.
Yay!
That
I've been waiting for this for so long.
reminds me, Sammy, have you seen what we've done for Carboom?
No, I haven't.
Carboom is our baker.
Oh, this is perfect.
We've got a little bakery shop that Sean definitely didn't burn down any of. With the wood-fired stove.
I mean, it makes sense to have a French person make the bread.
Well, we figured because he baked the stuff for Comic-Con that
Yeah.
he fit in. Sean points out, I saw nothing.
Well, I did see nothing of that, so I believe you, Sean, in saying that you did not.
On Wednesday, we'll be back with more Adventures of the Golden Tooth as they continue to investigate the prophecies they found in the Wave Echo Caves. On Friday next week, I don't know what we're planning, but I'm currently thinking possibly the Yog. Maybe get a couple of people together and do a run-through of that Choose Your Own Adventure game. And then next Sunday, I am going to be back with Storm King's Thunder, where we will be the Yog. We'll be back with Storm King's Thunder with the group continuing the Ancient Pact of Tra-Barak, or Tribal Combat. For now, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please do hit that follow button on the way out. It's a perfectly free way that you can completely support the channel and lets you guys know when we go live. I've got that down really quickly now. We'll see you guys on Sunday for more. Farewell.
Bye, sis.